So Lasheen, it's going to go live in about 1 minute, but I'm going to drop out, and then if you need anything, just text me.
Okay, sounds
All right.
good.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You're probably like, who is this person?
What I just said, I got a new lady.
My name is Lasheen. I'm the city's social media and marketing coordinator. So I'm helping to co-host the meetings moving forward. So you have me today, and I think Teresa Pollock is going to hop on too.
All right, well, I'm Wayne. I'm with FBR Tone and Recovery.
So I'm just here in the background. I'll probably turn my camera off once everybody hops on, but
That's fine. All right. I don't know if you heard me. I'm Wayne. I'm with FBR Tone and Recovery,
okay. Nice to meet you.
and I'm still eating lunch. So that's what they get when they do them online.
Right, 1 o'clock meetings, it's lunchtime.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Josh.
Yes.
You hear us?
I hear you.
You hear me? Well, we got a nice new young lady with us today.
I'm just here to be nosy. No, I'm here in case like something goes wrong with Zoom and we need some technical support. I work in the communications department at the city.
I was gonna say, I was hoping you not hear something goes wrong with us, because something always goes wrong with us.
No.
Well, better you than Joe Rice. So just so you know, Wayne, Larry's off today, and I told him you're under no obligation to attend a Zoom meeting on your day off. So
Y'all actually give him a day off?
we have to make him take days off.
Man, he used to call in sick all the time when we worked together.
I don't believe that for a second.
Tell him I told you that.
That would mean he would have to stay home, and you and I both know he doesn't want to do that.
I can tell you some stories about that.
I'm sure. Who are we waiting on, Buzz?
Yeah, Buzz, and I think she said Teresa was gonna pop in too. Still eating lunch too, so if y'all want to eat lunch, y'all can come on by.
What's for lunch?
Chinese.
Mm.
Today, tomorrow we're making a pot of chili.
Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-mm. Sent Buzz a message. He must have missed the deal. He must still be at the beach. It's not looking too good today. What are we doing to almighty Buzz Becker is late?
Yeah, there must be some kind of issue.
Wow. I figured world done. Buzz is late. Does it look like he's trying to get on or something?
Not that I can see.
I don't know what that. Oh, that's her. That she cut her camera off. I understand what that is there. I get to enjoy the Zoom like y'all had last time where I didn't have that one because my computer guy won't show about downloading it. So we got it downloaded.
He was leery about downloading it.
Yeah, because my computer gives me a message that it could harm my hard drive. And even like when they sent us this invite, we went on and did it. It did the same thing then. When we click download this Zoom app, it pops up 2 downloads at the bottom, and both of them shows that it could harm your hard drive. So that's why I did it through the browser last time and not through that app.
I mean, everybody and their brother uses it these days, so I like to think it's fairly secure.
Yeah, well, man, I pay so much in computer tech. It's ridiculous. So I'm so cautious on it. And this doggone laptop ain't nothing but Hewlett Packard, but I paid like $1,800 for it, and I didn't use it much. And within the first year, I had to replace the hard drive in it. So I get the okay from him before I download anything on it.
Probably smart. Do you have his number? Because I don't have a number for him, I don't think.
Let me go back. Hey, go back. Look up Volkswagen Beetle.
I'm doing okay. I'm on a meeting, so
Yeah, I towed his car. We towed his car a couple times, so I can probably find the number for him.
his request.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't get in trouble or nothing or park in the wrong place.
Thanks, sir.
I don't reckon I'll get in trouble for doing that. 434? 918?
Yeah, I've obviously got an email for him, but that's it.
I just sent him a text on the number that I got for him. I don't reckon we'll get in trouble for it.
Do you know who 989-5985 is? Somebody just texted me and
His number starts with 918. Did you hear who the second person was that applied to be on the board for the towing?
I don't know. It's been so long. I thought you said somebody from, like, maybe the lady that runs A1
No, Bridget over at Small Town.
Small Town.
Uh-huh. And the first email she got said that she should hear something by yesterday. But she told me twice this morning she hadn't got no email. Nope. Nope. She could join, she could be here and talk for like within the first 15 minutes, but then she can't say anything. Yeah. Oh. Is that the same number on both of those toes?
So Teresa just texted me
Huh?
and asked if I was logging into the towing meeting. And I said, Wayne and I are already on. We're using the link that Joe Rice sent an hour ago.
Right.
Hopefully they don't have another link.
You know what? I actually think there was two.
Well,
Oh,
Brian
okay.
Wheeler sent one last week, and then I thought
Yeah.
somebody sent one saying, disregard that one, use this one.
If they use
Yeah.
the public link from the city calendar, it'll bring them
Oh.
here and I could just promote them to panelists. So
What happened
however
to
they get here, they should be okay.
Oh, well. I don't know. Buzz had a beach background on his last time, so I figured he was still at the beach. Floating on the inner tube.
This time yesterday, I was sitting in stopped northbound
Teresa.
81 traffic behind a crash for
Oh,
an hour
yeah.
and a half.
That was pretty bad
Hey, guys.
crash over there, if I ain't mistaken.
Did you know anything about it?
Just hearsay on Facebook. We got Buzz says his name is Teresa.
Yeah, it does. I went to the link that was in the calendar invite, and that's where Teresa and I were hanging out.
Oh, I'm using the one that Joe sent an hour ago. So
Right.
Okay,
now it says Buzz.
There we go. Now we're working.
Teresa, you look thrilled to be here.
All
I'm
smiles.
I'm ready for 2020 to be over with, I'll tell you.
You really think the world's going to change in a week?
Hopefully, I could hope, right?
Could take 3 months.
3 months,
Yeah.
I give it till August. That's probably what's gonna happen is August. Is when it starts being normal again.
Then we'll be back in flu season again.
Oh, God, help us all.
Hey, but at least the flu's down this year
That's because everybody's wearing a mask.
because everybody's being diagnosed with coronavirus.
So Buzz, just so you know, Larry Sipe is off today, and I told him he's under no obligation to sit in a Zoom meeting on his time off. So
Sure.
this might be all we get.
I think,
Okay.
Does this constitute a quorum?
I would say it's one of every, well, one of you, each of you. So yeah, I would say it's a quorum. And
I think so
because
too.
we really don't have any more than that, and I don't count.
Me neither.
Come on now.
No, I don't count. I'm just staff.
Me too.
We have I guess I don't know. Is it Lachen Parks?
Lasheen.
She's
Lachine,
taking
excuse me.
Joe's place.
She's just, I think she's part of the communications department. So
She's just
she,
kind of facilitating.
yeah.
Nice.
Making sure we don't break out no big bad fight.
remotely.
Or an ornery group, yeah.
So as far as I know, I kind of heard through the grapevine, there was 2 people that applied for the towing member. And I know one's Bridget from Small Town Towing. And she's the one that I've been talking to and helping me out with a lot of stuff. She has not got a reply from the city. The original email she got when she applied said she would hear something by yesterday. And she had this morning, checked with her twice this morning. She hasn't gotten anything today. Don't know who the other wheel is. So
I reached out to Keena and to Max, and they were supposed to get back with me and let me know as to who is on the towing committee. So once I find out, I will let everybody know.
all right. I don't know where y'all want to start at, because I know I kind of held everything up and still kind of gonna be held up.
But yeah, that was gonna be my question, Wayne, is so last time we met, we got a copy of the current draft of how we wanted to revise things. I know we wanted to give you time to take a pass through it.
Right. Well, I'm handwriting everything because I can't get that link to, like, I went on there and I could make, I don't know. I'm computer illiterate, man. Like, I guess that's the proper way to say it. Computer stupid. So I can't get it to, like you were showing how it would draw a line under it and then put my remarks in. I can't get it to it. But like the reply I sent back to your email about, had we gotten anything done? And this is where my big hold up, and you know, I'm gonna say Bridget agrees with me because I'm hopefully she's gonna be the one that gets put on as the next board member. But in the ordinance on 15.436, which is the last page, it says the coordinator shall conduct a review of towing rates every 3 years. And then the next paragraph, the way it reads to me and to Bridget and everybody else that I've had read it, any changes that we want to make can only be turned in every 3 years. And so there's a big, you know, like I said this earlier before, if we put these little 6 changes in, they don't want to hear from us again for 3 years. And, you know, we need to, this whole, I've been saying this for 10 years, this whole ordinance is out of whack, out of construction, and just totally needs to be rewritten. And I just feel that and I know we've taken some time, and that's, you know, that's where y'all keep coming back from, but I've been trying to get this corrected longer than any of y'all. I've been trying to do it since 2013 and haven't got anything changed and corrected on it. And in the long run, I'm the one, and the towing industry is the one that's going to suffer from this not being as correct as possible. You know, because I'm still going to be here in 10 years. Y'all are going to be looking back 10 years from now saying, hey, I was on that towing advisory board. Look at that fool. He's still there. You know, so this is my career. I got to make sure this is right. Y'all are just helping out with it, basically.
Okay.
Wayne, the way I read it, I just brought that section up. I don't see anything in B that limits any change to a regulation to once every 3 years. It said there's like a must do in 436A that we have to, like, we must review the towing rates every 3 years. But in terms of any recommended changes to other rules, it just says it has to come in front of this advisory board. It doesn't really have like a time limit or restriction how many times we can do that.
Well, the way I read it, and the way, I mean, I even took it to my people at Vatro and even the lobbyist there, and, you know, and that's what he does for a living. He reads it as, since A is the beginning of that section, that the city council only wants this every 3 years for any recommended changes. If it was where we could put recommended changes in at any time, every month or every 6 months, then it wouldn't have a year period on it.
So I think those are unrelated. Would you be fine if we confirmed that with the city attorney?
Yes, but I would definitely want to see something in writing that it does not have to be, you know, a 3-year period for recommended changes, or for them to hear recommended changes, or that recommended changes can be given in at any time. I mean,
Right.
just having that 3-year period is what was the hang up. And like I said, even, you know, my people with Vatro, that's where they were coming back from too. Like, you know, it's a recommended period. So we want to make sure that if that was in a different paragraph, it may be something different. It wouldn't kind of be, to me, you know, it reads that that's where they want it. But on further note, besides all the other, I mean, I'll show you, y'all want to look at my chicken scratch. I got chicken scratch all over all of it. You can't see it, but anyway. One of the bigger things that we think needs to be changed and recommended for a change is the towing coordinator. And as it stands now, there's only one person that is a towing coordinator.
And who is
Myself,
that?
Josh, myself and Bridget both, we've talked about it several times. We feel that the towing coordinator should be made up of 3 people. And that would be Josh in place, a citizen, Buzz Becker, and then a towing rep, myself or whoever the next towing rep is. And when there's a complaint or an issue, you know, however the email gets sent out, instead of just sending it straight to Josh, it's sent to the coordinators, which would be the 3. And between those 3, they have a allotted time of inspecting the issue, checking the issue out, and between the 3 of them, solving the problem. That way it's not just, you know, well, Josh is picking on FBR towing because we had a problem out here one night, or Buzz's FBR towed Buzz's car from a parking lot. So, you know, he's holding a grudge. It's just him doing it. You know, it should be made up of 3 people that's on the board, or a section of each board member, and together they come up with a decision. And like, yes, that sign's improper. Well, that sign's an old sign and it's been there for 20 years, and the ordinance says that we don't have to change it because it's grandfathered in.
I think that it's that kind of hierarchy is in place for the idea, with the idea that I'm the only one of the group that has any authority to conduct any enforcement, should there need to be any. And then we have obviously a representative from the tow side of things for that perspective, and a representative from the community side of things for that perspective. And you all act in basically in an advisory position, but it all gets funneled back through the tow coordinator, who's the one that has the authority to actually force people's hand to be either in compliance or make something right if they screwed up or whatever the case may be.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, we got to have the person that can enforce it, but I still think it should be listed as coordinators. That way, if it is a, say, Colliers, for example, if there was something wrong at their office where they needed to be directly, you know, appointed and talked to, they know that Buzz Becker's legit to come out there and do it because he's on the list. He is listed as a citizen towing coordinator. Or they know that Wayne from FBR is legit to come out here and inspect, you know, my lights at my storage lot because the lights are incorrect, or my signage is incorrect at my storage lot. You know, that way you're not just dealing with one person's opinion. But yes, all in all, in the end, there's got to be the law enforcement there, because you're the person that can stroke that ticket for them being out of compliance, or for them, you know, not doing it right, versus, you know, you just got another record owner and a citizen that's, you know, that's just like when y'all went out there and looked, they had no clue who Buzz Becker was. I mean, we need to be listed. These people need to know who we are. And like, if it goes through and it's all approved, that's something that just needs to be addressed to the record services. It's like when if these people come, you have to tell them, show them what they need.
I think we've certainly found that from an enforcement standpoint, the role of the coordinator is a lot for one person to do. I think especially as we like do more of these audits and try to get things better aligned administratively. I guess I'm a little curious about a towing operator being able to go and be an enforcement agent on a competitor. Be kind of my main question there.
Well, honestly, I don't think anybody besides like, when it came down to like bills and stuff like that, that's nobody's business. I mean, I don't even have to give that to Josh. If he come in here and wanted to see the bill for a tow, I don't have to give that to him. I can tell him what it was or whatever, but until he gets a court order for it, you don't have to hand it over. He can question me about it, ask me about it, but when it boils down to it, I legitimately do not have to hand him the receipt that I gave the customer on what they paid, until he has a court order stating that I have to give it to him. But out of common courtesy, I don't care who comes in here and asks for how much stuff was, as long as I know that they're legit doing it. But I mean, when it comes down to, like I'm saying, the signage or you overcharge this person, I think when it would get into having like money's involved and how much this was or how much that was, that is definitely where Josh would have to be the one to go do that. But when it comes down to storage lot being incorrect or signage being incorrect, or, and even when Josh does go get a bill, it still needs to go through the three people before it's just decided upon. I mean, we wouldn't have this advisory board and everybody's opinion if it didn't matter. So when you're talking about, the rate changes, there's one company charging $160 to tow impounded vehicles because the state says you can, but the city says you can't. And, stuff like that. It's, do you really know what the state ordinance is versus the city ordinance? Between the three people, that needs to be figured out and voted upon equally. Because I might feel that sign that's been there for 20 years is nowhere near correct and shouldn't be the way it is. It should have been replaced to fairness of the citizen that parked there. But according to the ordinance, it says it's okay because it's been there for 20 years.
I don't disagree with some of these complaints. I think a part of me wonders if some of this comes down to how we're enforcing rather than changing the structure of the personnel who enforce. And by that, I mean, I think like if we were more proactive in seeking out the people and the signs and whoever it is that have an issue that we need to address, I personally still wouldn't have an issue with the singular towing coordinator being Josh as the person who carries that out. I actually think it would probably like complicate it if we made that by committee, but I think a lot of this stems from that we just aren't doing a lot of enforcement right now.
Well, there's never been any enforcement. So, I mean, when you come down to that, there's never been any enforcement. But yes, there has to be one individual that can enforce it. Like I wouldn't be able to go anywhere and enforce anything, but I can go inspect and I can give Josh my opinion is what I'm saying. And then you can go and inspect and give Josh your opinion. Send us an email. When they send Josh an email, but they've got a complaint about 10th and Water. And well, I don't even think there's a 10th and Water, or First and Market. And there's something wrong with the signage. Josh forwards that email to the two of us, or the email gets forwarded to us all. That's 7 days to give our opinion on it, how we feel about the signage. You know, is the signage correct? Is it not? You know, why do you think it's correct? And then Josh can go enforce it. But in order for us to be able to, you know, go to some properties or whatever and do what we think we want to do, or go to the record service, then, you know, people need to know who we are. We need to be, it needs to be listed as not just one person that's going to be doing these per se inspections or following up on complaints. It's going to be 3 people. It's going to be a member of each part of the towing board.
I have a question.
Huh?
Is there a lot, my question would be liability issues. The 2 of you are not employees of the city. And I guess that's something that needs to be discussed with the city attorney's office as far as inspecting for that type of, do you understand where I'm getting at? As far as being representatives of the city, you're on the committee, but if you're enforcing the law or inspecting per the law, per the code, I think that might be a problem. Does that make any, am I making any sense?
Yeah, and if you go into section, and maybe Wayne, this to get into what you were saying, if you go to section 427 under compliance, paragraph B, it does reference a duly authorized agent of the towing coordinator. So I guess what we could do is like either for the towing representative or the citizen representative, those could be automatic, or we do whatever we need to do to make those duly authorized agents to give us that compliance or inspection authority. Certainly still needing to route the actual any fines or infractions, whatever, through Josh, but that way there's no question, and we can, you know, publicize that or do whatever we need to make sure that gets across to the community.
I mean, yeah, that's, but I think where the city's gonna come back and say, the towing coordinator is duly appointed is gonna be Larry Sight, is what Larry does. Because Josh can't get there, he sends Larry out, which comes back to another city employee. But
Let's see.
you know, that's where I'm saying, I think, I don't know, I think the bigger issue with it is that it's all up to the city employee to decide what's right and what's wrong. And rather he has time to do that and on a regular, or, you know, who feels he's being fair about it, you know, whatever. That's like, I mean, I'll be totally honest, you know, like I said last time, everybody out there on Avon's out of compliance, but the city didn't do anything about it except for go out there and tell them watch a video. So, but I got across what I wanted to get across, and I got somebody else to apply on the board, more than one person from what I understand. You know, I need help. And without the other record services helping, you know, my hands was tied. I had to do something to get their attention. And trust me, I got their attention. I got phone calls that I was a dirty SOB and won't do looking out for nobody but myself.
Oh, Lord.
So, oh yeah, it didn't take long.
I mean, I do think it's a real issue that almost all of our record services are outside the city limits in terms of their physical location. I mean, those are all in violation of the code. And especially when it's not, arguably not safe to use Uber, use another way other than your towed vehicle to get to a location. It being that much further away is an issue.
Well, I don't have a problem with them being out on Avon. And like I told them, Lord only knows what the cities could do tomorrow, and I not be able to have my business in the city of Charlottesville. Right now, the property I sit on, or the street I'm on, is the only street in the city of Charlottesville that allows heavy duty industrial, you know, that's left. So rather they change the ordinance tomorrow and allow me to be grandfathered in because I've been here for 10 years, I might be out on Avon myself. So like I told them out there, I'm not trying to cut my throat. I'm not trying to cut their throat. I'm trying to get a point across that for since 2013, I have not been able to get nothing accomplished on this ordinance because I have no help. Tommy didn't help because he basically was like, nobody's listening, nobody listens to us. It's whatever the city wants and whatever the citizens want. That's how it's gonna get done. That's how this ordinance is written the way it's written, because nobody knew what they were doing when they did it. And they need a heads up. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on one second. I'll be right back with you. I'm sorry, guys. But and then I finally got that through to them. Like, you know, the city has a contract for one single record service to do their towing, and they're right out there on Avon. And the way that contract is written is that that record service has to be within, I don't know, 3 miles or 5 miles of the city limits. And even the Albemarle County rotational record service, your storage facility has to be within so many miles of the county line. There's nothing wrong with that. There's, you know, Ubers are fine and safe for them to get into when they're drunk and falling out of a restaurant and a bar to go home to God only knows where. They ought to be able to take them to the record service that's a half a mile outside the county city limit to pick the car up. But yet it was 5 miles from where the car was towed. So I truly think that it needs that wording needs to be changed in this ordinance, that the storage site must be within, say, 3 miles, 5 miles, however it needs to be written. You know, and my point for bringing that up was to put a stop to putting the draft through. That's not going to do us any good. Like this whole thing needs to be put through as a draft and not just like 6 or 7 small items. And it's just going to take time, and more than just me working on it on the record service side. But, you know, I got to have somebody that's going to help me and understand where I'm coming from, because you guys don't understand where I'm coming from. I don't understand where Josh is coming from when he pulls me over for running 26 miles an hour on East Market Street and writes me a ticket. You know, Buzz, and I don't understand where you're coming from. I don't even know what you do for a living. But if you're a doctor and you're charging me $1 million to operate on my head, you know, I don't.
No, that's my wife. That's my wife.
You know, so, you know, it's all part of understanding what everybody does. And when we all don't understand how, you know, you're thinking of what this is going on, and Josh is thinking of what this is going on, or even, you know, like Teresa, she's like, he's sitting there mumbling and talking all kinds of crap, and I just don't understand it. But it takes time. And like I said, you know, I've been here since 2013 and none of y'all have been. I know what I was promised. I know what I was promised in 2013 and it didn't happen, and I lost a lawsuit, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. I'm pulling up in the ordinance. I'm trying to find where it references how far away it needs to be. I want to say it says it has to be within city limits.
It does. It's 15423F.
423F.
An operator must tow each vehicle directly to a storage site in the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, if it's okay for the Charlottesville Police Department to tow vehicles from the city of Charlottesville to Albemarle County, this has got to be okay for it to happen with this too. You know, it just needs to be rewritten. Because I mean, if it's not okay for, you know, you wreck your car and the city police department have it towed, it's going to Albemarle County. You know, so if it's okay for that, it's got to be okay for this. It just needs to be rewritten and clarified that it's within so much mileage.
Yeah, I can appreciate calling out that double standard. Would you know off the top of your head, or maybe this is something we can kind of map out, the kind of the main operators that tow from the city today for private lots, how far out they would be? And not that I want to write the ordinance to fit the current landscape, but if there's a reasonable, you know, within 1 mile of city limits, within 2 miles, whatever it is, and it doesn't completely upend everyone's business in the meantime, it would be nice to find that sweet spot.
You asking me that or Teresa?
The group, I guess.
Okay. Well, I mean, the way I took it when I first read it, but then after I brought it up and you guys said something about that is for, when I said it says reasonable walking distance.
Yeah.
And that's from the office where you pay your bill to where you pick your vehicle up.
Right.
So I was misreading that, stating that from where the vehicle was towed to where you pick the vehicle up at.
Right.
So, but I mean, all in all, from the county line where these companies are located out on Avon, at the most, you're talking 3/4 of a mile to a mile
Okay.
outside of the city limits. But from the University of Virginia, 4.5 miles.
Sure.
So it
I don't
depends on
think
how
you can
write it.
account for like variations of distance within the city limits. And so I think it would be from the perimeter of the city limits, a certain distance that we would see is okay.
Right. Yeah. That's why like me and Bridget was talking, we said within 3 miles, because honestly, in 10 years, we don't know that the zoning is gonna be right out there on Avon. You might have to find another place to be to. And within 3 miles of the city limits, which we're thinking that is what the other contract says is within 3 miles of the city.
The
limits.
one the police use.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I might be wrong on that. I don't concern myself with that contract because I'll never bid on it. I mean, Josh could probably look that up or feel more into that and know exactly what it says, but
Yeah, I've never seen that contract, so I can speak a little bit about it, but I've never been involved in that contract or the negotiating of it or
right.
changing it or anything like that. So
Unless I miraculously become a millionaire tomorrow, I'll never concern myself with bidding on that contract. Because you got to have $1 million truck to bid on it.
Fingers crossed for you.
for the
Years.
lottery, not for the truck.
Teresa, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, this is a public meeting and it appears that we have participants outside ourselves. And somebody has their hand raised and I'm not
Nice.
sure if he wants to ask a question.
Who is it?
Teresa, do you have the ability to?
I'm looking, I saw,
There should be an allowed to talk button if you guys are doing like public comment or anything.
I don't know. I'm not seeing that. So this is my first time in doing the public part
Hey,
of it.
Do you want me to?
Lasheen, this is
Can you tell
Brian.
us who it is?
Hey, Brian.
Lasheen, you'll have to facilitate that.
Okay, perfect.
Can you tell us who it is, Teresa?
It is Mirage Patel.
Don't know.
Let's
I thought the public part of it could only talk like the first 15 minutes before the meeting.
Oh,
I think
let
that's
me
with
bring him
council.
in.
That-
Honestly, I'm open to their thoughts.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm just wondering later when we review the seminar, kind of the insurances or subjects it helps with.
Lasheen, did you
Mirage,
get?
Can you repeat that?
After the seminar is over, I'm kind of wondering the insurances or subject topics it helps with, how the seminar is teaching and kind of with a lot of the seminars online with this project set up, what the key takeaways are.
Oh, okay. You want notes for the meeting afterwards?
Well, I mean, there are kind of some anecdotes going on how the seminars are set up and what they're teaching and how
Well-
you apply the information later.
This is not a seminar. This is a meeting, a board meeting of city employees as well as citizens that are on the board for the towing.
About the board meetings you've had in the past with your training class. What's contained about those meetings, or why are they being brought up to review again?
I'm sorry, you're very hard to understand. This is a active
Today?
committee meeting. It's not a training.
Why are you presenting on Zoom then?
Because it is a public meeting.
Why don't you seem aware of the entire Zoom project?
Brian and Lasheen, would you like to help me here?
I went ahead and muted him. It doesn't seem like he was trying to, I don't know if he.
Sounds like you found us by accident.
Yeah.
That's what we'll go with.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Sorry, that was super weird.
Oh,
Still public, Lasheen.
you answer that quick, please.
I think we'll just pretend that didn't happen because I don't think that was pertinent to what we're talking about.
Oh, I
Thank
get
you,
it.
John.
Absolutely.
Okay. Back to city
I
limit.
don't even remember where we were.
City zoning and
No galaxies got caught.
How, yeah, what the distance outside of the city limits would be for a storage site?
Are you asking?
Well, yeah, if you know how far away kind of the farthest of the main operators, but I think I just want to flag understanding what could we do to minimize that distance beyond, but still keep everyone where they are right now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's more than maybe a mile and a half outside the city line.
Yeah, no. it's-
Obviously, it doesn't factor in where they're towed from within the city.
Sure.
You know, because if it's somewhere out at Barracks Road or, points west and north, it could be quite a bit further, but
Sure.
I think it's always just considered distance from the actual city line. And I don't think anybody, the majority of them, Wayne, you can speak to this. The majority of them there's a little cluster of them south of town on Avon. Taylor's is just north of town. They're on the rotation. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to take a call.
That's right.
I guess if y'all want to move to something else, or you still want to talk about that?
do you want to send me your copy of your notes so that I can do up the document?
I can, it's not final, nowhere near final.
Are you
No.
saying, Wayne, that you're not able to edit that Google Doc that Buzz sent?
Yeah,
just don't know how?
I can go in there and, I went back and read like where he sent me the thing to show me how to do it. Where you go to the left corner, you click on something. And I could get in there and I could move words around, but I couldn't type words in and it draw the line under what I was replacing.
Right.
I
So maybe Buzz,
mean, I don't know if you can, if Buzz has even looked at it, but I did, I think 2 or 3 things that was the only thing I could get to edit. But all I did was I put a mark in it or something.
Yeah,
But-
I found a couple like hashtags or pound signs.
Yeah. And I mean,
Can I
that's the only
screen
thing I
share
could
real
get.
quick, Teresa, and show how it's done?
Well, you
Excuse
did
me?
last time and I couldn't figure it out.
I think as a panelist, I should be able to screen share. Yeah, here
Yeah,
we
you
go.
should be able to.
Cool.
And I don't know if it was just something's wrong with it or not, because like the first time I tried, I had to have some code for it, but Buzz got that fixed.
Okay. And so this is kind of what you see when you go in here, Wayne?
Yeah.
So instead of this editing, what you could do is click down here and I think I'll get this right.
Suggestions.
We're doing this live. Click it down and hit suggesting. And so if I want to say, you know, I'm just typing right now. And so what it does, because I'm in this suggesting mode, I can come in here and start making changes. It won't completely like override it, but it'll say, hey, this is what Buzz thinks we should do instead.
Okay, but can you see that on your end where it's drawing the line under it? Where you
Yeah.
typed in county, it put a line underneath the county and city and a line through city.
Yeah, and I show, if you look up here, there's another person that's in the document right now. And so they should be able to see changes that I'm making.
Okay, so when I was doing that, that's exactly what I did. I went to suggestions and clicked
Uh-huh.
on it, and I come over here, but it would not give me those lines.
Huh.
So that's where I felt I wasn't accomplishing what needed to be accomplished.
Did you use your FBR address when you came in here?
Yeah, just like you sent it to me.
Yeah. Well, we can do it old school
Because
too.
there's where I put the
Yeah.
hashtag in right beside operator, because that's another thing where we need to address also.
And you have this one down here too.
Yep, the towing coordinator, yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I feel the towing coordinator, I wanted to put board members.
Mm.
Instead of just basic towing coordinator, board members.
I'm gonna stop sharing. We might still tinker with that some. If I can figure out how to stop sharing.
Just hit the X.
Just leave the Zoom. Oh, it's up here. Got it.
Give it there.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, Wayne, if you want to send me this stuff, I'll update the whole document so that we can at least have the comment, what your comments are. Everybody
Yeah, I
can,
mean, I'll send it to you if you want me to. It's just,
That's
I got lines and scribble, scrabble, draw written underneath of it. So
It's a work in progress, is what he's saying.
very,
believe me,
very much progress.
I can read doctor and lawyer scribbles, so I should be able to read your scribble.
I'm a record driver, totally different writing.
Not really. Not really.
It's probably better than what she's used to.
Teresa, who would be, is this a Brian question, or who would be the person to run up the flagpole if that 3-year provision only means rate charges versus being able to put any edit before council?
It'll,
Probably-
that would be the city attorney,
Allison or Lisa.
Allison, Lisa, or even John Blair himself. I'll ask them when I see them. I'll send them an email.
The way I read that similar to the way you read it, Buzz, in that, what section was that again? So I don't,
Very last paragraph.
It was
Last
like
paragraph, so-
436.
changes. That first section is I don't think it speaks for the entire 436 section. I think that's just, this is what you're supposed to do every 3 years at a minimum. And then any other changes you want have to be put before city council, is how I briefly reading through that, how I interpreted it. And I'm not an attorney, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So for what that's worth.
Yeah. So we have that piece that I think if we get a good answer from the attorney there, we might be able to move forward with something while still knowing we have a lot more work to do, Wayne. Do you know, I mean, obviously this is right after the board appointment was before council. Do we know when we'll know whether or not we have any new members for our next meeting?
Hopefully they'll get back with me today or tomorrow. I would imagine that they've had to make this decision, but as soon as I find out, I'll let you know.
Okay. Then with those new folks, Wayne, we can take a look at between towing coordinators or some other bigger revisions you want to make.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just like stuff, the way stuff's worded, the word operator, needs to be, in some places needs to be driver, some places needs to be company, not operator. It's a lot of that. the word company should mean management of the towing company instead of the driver. There's, just looking through everything, trying to find 423 D says the Charlottesville Police Department shall be notified by the operator no later than 15 minutes after initiating the mobilization of the tow. That should be driver or company. And yeah, I know, let's see. Operator, when it gives the definitions, it says operator or towing and recovery operator means any person, including a business, corporation, or sole proprietor offering services involving the use of a tow truck. That's not the way the general public sees it. When they come in here and they read this, like there's one section in here that states that the way it reads is that the person picking their car up should be able to get the phone number and address to the driver that drove the tow truck. And that just doesn't happen. And I come with this stuff because when customers come in here to pick their cars up, this is what we hear. Well, the ordinance states this, the ordinance says this, and when you go back and read it, that's exactly what it says. And then like section 15427A, it says the operator will provide to the vehicle owner upon request a copy of supporting documents for the tow, including the photographs and written materials. And we've all agreed on this before. It's not the operator's job to do that. It's the owner of the business. It's the manager of the business's job to do that. And, and that's where we had written that it's done within 5 days.
Okay, looks like I just got the information about the towing advisory. There's 2 vacancies, and they approved Ashley Cullip and Bridget Hypes.
Cool.
So Ashley is the citizen alternate, and Bridget Hypes is the towing industry representative. So I guess I'll get in touch with them.
I'll let Bridget know now.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that operator definition, Wayne. It's pretty broad. It encompasses any business, any person, sole proprietor. Yeah, I think we could use some definition punch up here.
Right. And I mean, I've brought that up multiple times, but
so especially knowing that for our next session, February 18th is what I show on the calendar, that we'll have another towing rep and another citizen rep. What do you guys think if Wayne, we can get kind of a full wish list of the ordinance of, hey, if you were the one person writing this, these are all the things I would want, so that we have something we can work off of and review.
I will try my best.
Yeah. Even if we need to convert some chicken scratch, we can find a way.
Yeah. I mean, how long has it been since our last meeting? A month, 2 months?
Yeah, during the holidays too.
And I can only tell you the free time that I've had is when I lay my head on my pillow at 11 o'clock at night, and it gets off my pillow at 3:30 the next morning. So I will do my best at it. And like I said, I can forward this to Teresa and let her go through it too, but I don't know if she'll understand my writing, but that's fine.
I'll call you if I don't understand.
Okay. And Bridget has a copy of everything that I have right here. I've given her copies of everything.
Okay. What we might do in the meantime, if you're comfortable with the changes from our most recent draft, and if Allison's office says that, they can hear any changes at any time, are we good moving that up to council as we work some of the other issues?
I would vote no.
Vote no.
Because that is not the way that I understand that last paragraph and other people that I've brought it to. I mean, it just, if, you know, it should have been in a different paragraph if the other stuff didn't mean to be involved with section A.
I mean, but there's a lot of subsections throughout that aren't that related to each other or don't hold each other to one another.
I
I
think
mean,
what,
if count, go ahead,
I
Josh.
think
Sorry.
what Buzz is saying is, Wayne, is if we get an interpretation from our attorneys in reference to our city code, that we can make suggestions, recommended changes at any time. Are we okay with pushing some of these changes that we've identified as issues forward? And with the understanding that there's more to come.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know who the city attorney is now or how they operate or anything. But I had a city attorney tell me while I was sitting in that boardroom that changes will be made before he leaves. And they did not get made. If they would have gotten made, I would not have lost my lawsuit.
But knowing we can't fix that now,
But
if we,
I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm not gonna stick my foot in my mouth again because I did one time. And it was with the city. And yes, I know he's not there, hasn't been there since 2013. This guy might be the best attorney the city of Charlottesville's ever had. But for what I read, and you know, like I said, other people have agreed with me. You know, it's every 3 years. They don't want to hear from the record services every 6 months about changing something. They don't want to hear from us every year about changing something. That's why they put 3-year period in there.
so we, I mean, we disagree about that, but that's okay. What I don't want to get into, knowing that I'm entering the third year of a 3-year term that will not be repeated, I want to get something done before I go. And so if you can say, hey, we're going to come back to this February meeting and I'm going to have a lot of stuff we can talk through to try to press this ball forward, great. I mean, then I'll hold off moving forward. I would be pretty frustrated if we kept not getting some changes to this ordinance that could actually get before council. I think that's what I don't want to happen.
So your frustration is better than my frustration.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is I think we could put something before council, they would say yes or no, and they would hear us the next meeting too. I think if the city's attorney says you can bring us revisions at any point, and we just choose not to believe that, then that's being counterproductive.
Have the city attorney call me.
Okay.
Simple.
I think that'd be worthwhile.
Or Google Meet, Zoom Meet, whatever. I don't care. But
Sure.
It's just, you know,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get burned again too. So I can
do
appreciate that.
you not plan on reapplying after your 3-year term?
If we get nothing before council in 3 years, no. If we can get some good work done, maybe,
Well-
because I've enjoyed working with you guys. But
I mean, I've been here,
yeah, no, I hear you.
stuck it out.
I hear you. Well, and Ashley, I don't know her too well, but I've talked to her a couple times. I think she's going to be a really solid other citizen rep. So we'll have some more help too.
What was her name?
Ashley Cullop, Cullop. So on the 18th, what time do you guys want to meet at 1 again?
It's fine with me.
Okay,
I think that's what's on my calendar. Yeah. 1 or 2:30.
okay.
We might need a new invite. I think our list has changed a little.
Yes, I will update the list and get the contact information and forward any information I can to the new board members.
Okay. Merry Christmas in the meantime, guys. And Teresa and
Thank
the
you.
rest.
You too.
Be safe.
You guys too.
Be healthy.
All right. Good to see y'all.
You're
Bye-bye.
done?
I think so.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk about something.
You got something, Josh?
Josh can't leave us.
Just sit there and look purdy the whole meeting?
I'm sure he's been there doodling, you know, he's been doing work.
He's like Wayne's running his mouth again.
Yeah, Josh, I just think we got to a point where we don't have a lot of material to review and we need some guidance from city attorney.
Okay,
So
I'm okay with that. So we'll get those answers on presenting changes and how often we can do that definitively, hopefully.
yes,
Yep.
And then hopefully when we meet in February, Wayne's gonna have a whole slew of suggested changes.
Do if I could read my own
Wayne.
writing.
Yeah.
I'll be able to do it. You'll be surprised.
I saw how she interpreted that Toe book, so that was pretty masterful. If that's all, then yeah, you guys have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you in February.
You too.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Sounds good.
All right, take care.
Uh,